Hey everybody, welcome to another Worship Leader Confessional. This is number 3, and this one I think will be a quick one today. This one's about worry. And if you've been around me for any amount of time, you know that why this is a confessional is because I can be a worry wart. If you were here Sunday, or if you were specifically if you were watching the live stream Sunday, you watched our digital world fall apart in real time, I think. We had our main worship computer go down, the hard drive crashed, tried to rebuild it all through the morning as we're getting ready for services, and there came a point where we realized it's not coming back today. So no video, and no announcements, no words for the songs, no words, scriptures for the message. I spent a lot of time putting all that stuff together, and so through practice, sound check Sunday morning, my brain was exploded. My worship team got to experience that firsthand. If you're watching, I apologize for being a nervous wreck, okay? It took me a little while to get into gear, and when it finally dawned on me that, we're not going to solve this problem, I had to have the realization that, okay, now it's time to just go. Church is still happening. People are here. It's time to go. How do we do this? And then you just roll with it and you do what you need to do. We try to remember the announcements, try to call out the words to the songs, and church happens. The live stream was a little weird because we tried to do a cell phone live stream and it was sideways, and then somebody came and helped, and David Kirkwood turned it over, and so comedy of errors, but church happened. God was praised, right? And so there comes a point in that where, I think Matthew 6 is playing through my head. That last third of the chapter from like 25 to 34 is all about worry. It's just continually being reminded, don't worry about, what you're going to have, what you eat, what you drink, what you wear, all these things. And just don't worry all through it. And reminds us at some point that, verse 33, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all those things will be added to you. And then it ends with, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's got enough worry. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. So I guess the confession is that, that I have that tendency in me, and I think many of us do, to fret the details and fret trying to control things that ultimately either we can't control, the illusion of control, or that are going to be a non-fatal error anyway, are going to be something that in the moment seems huge, but will ultimately not be a big deal, because in the example of church, people sang, people heard the message. It was rough for a week, but we'll fix all that stuff. The important thing was that we got the message out in whatever way we could, and then we'll figure the rest out later. So obviously, for a worship standpoint, that's easy, right? You go, hey, roll with the punches. We got to be ready for whatever comes. Even for a group standpoint, or whatever ministry you're serving in, there are going to be things that are going to happen that are going to be unexpected. There are going to be situations that you find yourself in, tough conversations you don't want to have. You see something in somebody that's kind of a red flag, and you oh gosh, if I address that, are they going to walk away? If I make this decision for our group, who's that going to affect or offend? Or, what we can't be afraid of is just leaning into what is the right thing, and having those tough conversations, or making those tough decisions. For our group leaders, you may come to a point where you realize you're building relationships, you're trying to help your people grow, and you're maxed out, and it's time to start talking about, hey, we need to make room for more people. Maybe it's time that we branch off and start a new group. You may be at a point where you're trying to decide, do I begin a group? Do I start this new ministry? Do I start this new thing? And it's, terrifying because you don't know what's going to happen. Good conversations will help with a lot of that, because I'll help you. I'll talk you off the ledge if you're worried. But there are so few things that we can't educate or course correct or figure out. God has got us handled. He's got so much bigger things for us, and I guess I recognize that this life and serving God and loving God and pursuing God, seeking first His kingdom is so much more important than the details. We'll figure out the details, and we'll make some mistakes, and we'll have to be honest with it and go, yeah, I goofed that up, or a thing happened, and there's nothing we could do about it, but we're gonna respond and we're gonna fix it. But having the humility to recognize that, you know, we can't control everything, but what we can do is just put our whole heart, our whole all our activity into something, and go. We'll course correct where we need to. I think of today being election day, and the amount of worry and the sort of responsibility people kind of falsely put on politics to determine the outcome of their life. Guys, no matter who gets elected today, whichever way you prefer, that one person isn't God. That one person doesn't hold all the power, even in our country. And I think of that even in those terms as well, is that we still have to get up and start another day and serve the God we love and pursue Jesus, become a better disciple than we were the day before, and become more like Jesus. And that supersedes what happens in this country, no matter what happens. And so, my encouragement, I guess, and my sort of admission to you is like, I struggle with this as much as anybody else, with worry and control and trying to make things go the way I wanted to, and then being thrown when they don't. But man, let's pursue God first. Let's pursue authenticity in our relationships. Let's pursue honesty when we make mistakes, and be able to admit, I don't have it all figured out. But I serve a good God, and He's forgiven me for much bigger things than these little, part-time worries that we run across. So, kind of, just a catch-all encouragement for us today. No matter what ministry you serve in, what you're doing in the church, not to worry. This too shall pass. God's got us, and He's got so much bigger plans than the little inconveniences or the things, or even the big things. God's got us in the big things that happen, so we don't have to worry, whether it's COVID or politics or our group life or on stage and the words don't come up, whatever it is. We can rest assured God's got us. So anyway, it's my encouragement for today, and let's talk soon. See you guys.